And I just want to get your response to that. Trying to fit into that same box. No overriding. How independent do you choose?
I find that, particularly coming from the Democrats, but in general, politicians, there's a strong will to put people in certain boxes, from the get-go. I don't see it that way. I like to come to the table with my principles, ideas, solutions, and then I'll work with anybody that agrees that we can work together to solve our nation's problems. So I don't put myself in a particular box.
Republicans and independents will have to distinguish you from Barry Lambert. I understand you're both Republicans, but what sets you apart from Washington? Republicans and independents
We obviously have quite different backgrounds and profiles and experience. I actually have more legislative experience than both Mr. Senator Lambert and Congressman Custer combined. But in general, you'll see that we do have some differences when it comes to some policy issues, and I think we have a different message, so I would like to communicate mine, and I hope that people will be inspired by that and believe that we can change our country's direction.
What would you consider your largest accomplishment as a legislator? How people can hear your candidacy?
Yeah, I think I've been consistent in that I prefer to run my campaign telling people my philosophies, my underlying political philosophies of governance, individual liberty, personal responsibility, and then I tend to vote that way. At the same time, I've been very involved with helping get our economy going in the long term in this state. That's been a concern of mine, so I've worked very closely with the high-tech industry, the innovation economy, and in healthcare, where basically the specialty sector meets high-tech, meets education and innovation, and I think that's an area where we're very, very well poised to be successful in this state and develop our economy in many different ways, but that's an area I've been working on.
Any custom certainly may have her weaknesses, but fundraising isn't one of them. She raised more money as a first-time candidate for Congress than anybody in New Hampshire history. How do you intend to compete with that?
I know there are certain, benchmarks. There are numbers these days on, how much one needs to raise. So, I've been in this for a month and a few weeks, and I'm certainly full steam ahead. I'm making all my calls, going around to meet all the citizens in the state or in my district, and I'm going to do the best I can. So if she can do it, why can't I?
Could you address at this point what you've already expressed, I guess, to a certain degree, the diversity in the Republican Party? They happen to be rolling out today a conference they're hosting in March, where they want to, quote, expand their base. The Democrats have already pointed out that the only 4 people they've announced to appear there so far are, in their words, old labor. It's sort of rising up, you said, another Republican. What do you bring to the table in terms of expanding the base?
I think there's been a communication breakdown in general. I don't think the party's been very good about communicating what it is we believe and why, and our vision for the country. So I just intend to, communicate that message, my message, and if by virtue of being who I am, that helps expand our base, that's great. But that's just the way I'm thinking about it.
Representative, you've taken some hip checks already about what your hair, your age, things like that. What do you think your biggest obstacle is going to be in the primary, and if you win the primary, facing off against
I wouldn't say there's a particular obstacle. I think campaigns are challenging. Winning an election is challenging. So I don't know what will be coming down the pipeline at me. Obviously, there's been a little bit of mean-spiritedness and all of that already, but we'll see what happens.
So you said that Washington needs to be smaller, but how do you think Speaker Boehner is going to do it?
I'm not a particularly huge fan. I'm also not a detractor. I think he's in a challenging situation. There are some things I would have liked to see him do differently, but overall, there's the House, there's the Senate, there's the President, and I would hope we could be more effective in curbing some of the waste and, frankly, the misguided policies that Washington's pumping out these days. So I've appreciated where he's been supportive of things I've done.
Finally, where do you? There's always a dual approach from candidates. So they want to stick to their principles, yet they want to work across the aisle. You are from a philosophical background that's very, very principled in terms of being conservative. How are you going to draw that line in terms of when it's time to work across the aisle and when it's time to stick to your principles?
I don't think working across the aisle is necessarily, an end in and of itself. Again, my thing is I will work with anybody that, that we have a meeting of opinions or values or think something is sound policy good for our state, good for our nation. But I just like to be respectful to everybody. I like to offer, what I see as solutions to some of the problems we have, and then, sure, I'm happy to hear both sides. The more information, the better. And I'm just happy to work with people in general if we're of the same mind.
Well, what if people are not of the same mind, though?
Well, then you find the areas you can be. So, I mean, I've seen it so many times in this house. You never know. One day someone's against you, someday they're with you. So I would hope that everybody would be respectful and understand that everybody's entitled to an opinion. And your job as a legislator and politician is to communicate and be persuasive of what you'd like to accomplish. So in some ways, it's a failure if you're not able to do that.
Thanks a lot, Marilyn.
Thank you.
Good luck.